Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Chris Holman here in the Gillespie Group studios. And, hey, we're doing something that we traditionally do, but it throws everybody for a loop for about 6 minutes. I am down here introducing a brand new show on the Michigan Business Network, and one that we think not only from a business standpoint, but socially really has a place here. And with that, I'm going to introduce the host of this show, Angela Austin, who's also the owner and founder of One Love Global in Lansing, Michigan. How you doing, Ange?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thank you so much for providing this opportunity for us.
Well, are you excited? That's what we want to bring fun to your life.
I am ridiculously excited.
Oh, good. Good for you.
I can't think of a better way to celebrate our 10th anniversary than to have this conversation with you.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about One Love Global very quickly, because you are celebrating your 10th anniversary this week.
Today,
and tell me a little bit about, and tell everybody a little bit about One Love Global and what you do very quickly.
One Love Global focuses on peace, justice, and opportunity, and we do this through 3 pillars of economic development, which are education, leadership development, and social entrepreneurship.
Well, and great stuff, as a matter of fact, and again, it dates back to probably finding that our system of opportunity here does not have equal and open opportunity for everyone.
We've got some work to do, Chris.
Yeah.
And we've really come a long way. And, this year we're celebrating the Civil Rights Movement. We're celebrating the Emancipation Proclamation. There's a lot of cool stuff being celebrated this year. But it's also a great time to kind of do the math and look at where we've come and how far we still have yet to go.
We're pretty close, as a matter of fact, to Martin Luther King Day, which is coming up here. Let's talk a little bit about your upcoming show. Tell me a little bit about what we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be exposed to as business listeners.
As business listeners, Equity Equals is a platform to really look at what we call the third sector of our economy, which is the nonprofit sector. And that includes kind of the traditional nonprofits that you think of, those that provide the health care, those that provide education, but it also includes this new kind of, it's not even new, it's decades old now, social entrepreneurs that really look at how they can impact the double bottom line. How are we seeing this financial growth in our state, but also what's the human impact? What's the social capital that we're building?
It's kind of interesting because a lot of people say nonprofits, oh, well, where do they fit in the business scheme? And the fact is that they're as viable as any other consumer. They buy things. They have to buy things to exist, and so they're part of that economy. And they're also, in your case in particular, they're turning out raw resource that we really need, which is intelligent thinking, creative thinking people.
Absolutely. Nonprofits really is the sector that kind of deal with the problems that hold the bigger economy back. Looking at early childhood education, looking at things like mental health, helping to reduce the cost that we all pay out of pocket in Michigan. When people are sick, somebody has to pay for that. When people aren't educated, somebody has to pay for that. We want to reduce those costs by actually turning and supporting people to become job creators as much as possible.
Well, and this is the point. This core value is the point that I think is very essential to have you on this network and have organizations like this, because if you don't deal with it, if there aren't people who know it and understand it dealing with it, then the rest of us are just throwing money in a pot, which doesn't fix it. It just kind of puts a Band-Aid on the scar.
And what happens is that people like you, Chris, get approached by lots of nonprofits and charities that are asking for checks, and you will write those checks because of the person that's asking you, but ultimately, is that dollar having an impact on your own bottom line?
Yeah.
And I know as a savvy business man that you actually want to increase your bottom line and you want to see a return on that investment, whatever it is.
Well, unfortunately, my bottom line has increased, at least in size, because of the holidays, but we're working on that, Angela. You didn't have to point that out. But you're absolutely right. I mean, somebody does pay for this somewhere along the line. And for me as a business guy, I look on it, is it a donation or is it an investment? And there's a real difference, because a donation keeps coming back and saying, I need about the same thing to survive I did last year. An investment is saying, we're turning the tide, we're changing things, it's getting better. I won't need as much because we're self-funding or whatever the case may be, right?
Absolutely, and we're hoping that through this conversation that your audience across Michigan, the business owners that really drive the philanthropy I mean, who's really giving the money to support the nonprofit sector? And it's really the business community in partnership with government that makes all this happen. And we want to ensure that those who are investing are making smart investments where there really is a return.
So tell me what we can look forward to on your show. What's coming up?
Oh, well, January is all about mentoring, so we'll start there with how mentoring and coaching can actually have a better impact on your business and, again, shore up that bottom line. Over the course of the year, we'll move through different themes. We'll have conversations with the faith community and what they're doing in Michigan to have an impact on the economy. We'll talk with social entrepreneurs across the state of Michigan, and we'll have some targeted conversations about emerging issues within the nonprofit sector that nonprofit businesses really need to pay attention to.
All good stuff, and so is the work you're doing. We're ecstatic to have you on the Michigan Business Network. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Chris.
Now I'm going to scoot out of here and leave the rest of the broadcast in better hands. Angela Austin will be right back on the Michigan Business Network.
Dream it, do it. Dare to hope, dare to dream, dare to go for what you know, going for the goal, succeed. Got something on the inside, can't hide. God gave you the gift is can't deny. Don't let nobody hold you back. Gotta press, be the best, yeah, hone the craft. Cause you ain't even seen the half. He about to do way more you even thought to ask. Who's bad? God is good, he the baddest, bad meaning good.
Welcome to Equity Equals on MichiganBusinessNetwork.com with co-host Angela Austin and Bill Morris. Equity Equals is a celebration of social entrepreneurship and the leaders that impact Michigan's double bottom line.
Hi, I'm Angela Austin with One Love Global.
And I'm Bill Morris with New World Flood.
We'd like to thank you for joining us for our very first show on the MichiganBusinessNetwork.com. And we invite you to join us as we talk about all of the great things happening in the nonprofit sector and the richness that the social entrepreneurs in Michigan are adding to our valuable economic bottom line.
Absolutely, Angela. This is an exciting time in Michigan. We have the profitability finally coming back into our businesses. We have vibrancy in our nonprofit sectors, and we're beginning to see some of the tangible results of some regional efforts. So we can definitely dig into those topics.
Bill, I'm really looking forward to having these conversations, not just with you, but with so many of the leaders that we come in contact with through our nonprofit work. We do a lot in the charitable sector. I know you and TJ are doing so much with New World Flood and with One Love Global. We started in Detroit, and now that we're here in Lansing, we've had lots of opportunities to interact with all kinds of organizations all over Michigan and all over the country, as a matter of fact. So we look forward to bringing those conversations into this program.
Absolutely. We've had great opportunity, particularly over the holiday season, to work with a number of faith-based charities. Faith-based charities are the foundation of charity and charitable giving, so it's absolutely the right time to talk about that topic.
Yeah, I'm hoping that our business community will kind of see the value. There's so much of what we do in the nonprofit world that we do because of the business sector. Philanthropy is really driven by the private sector and those who find it of value to give, not just to organizations like yours and mine, but all kinds of causes, whether it's health, education, whether it's the arts, even mentoring and leadership programs, what we're going to talk more about coming up in future shows, but really looking at how the nonprofit sector is a really valuable and really invaluable third leg to the stool that kind of holds up Michigan's sector. So we have our public sector, we have all of our for-profit businesses, but nonprofit sector businesses really do a lot to drive our economy in ways that I don't think are really known to the general public.
Circulation of that dollar is important. We in the nonprofit world are part of that circulation, that economic engine. The circulation of that dollar directly relates to the vibrancy of a community. We live in a vibrant community. We live in a state that's emerging from some difficult times, but we are regaining our vibrancy. And so everyone has to continue to remember that giving is investing. It's not giving away.
Absolutely. And since this is our first show, Bill, why don't you tell us a little bit about New World Flood? I'm familiar with what you do, but it'd be great if everyone in Michigan can learn more about New World Flood and what you do and how it does, in fact, impact the double bottom line in Michigan.
New World Flood, where a single raindrop is the beginning of a flood. New World Flood is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we are all about community service and volunteering. We volunteer or flood in 4 areas. First, we do inspirational visits that we call our flood visits, and we do those in schools and in boardrooms, in community rooms, what have you, and we inspire folks to do volunteering, which leads to our second area, which is training. There's no such thing as a smart volunteer unless you make them that. And we specifically take our volunteers through training. We do screening. We make sure that the best volunteers get into the best situation, and the situation gets the best out of each volunteer. Our third area, or buckets as we like to call them because we're New World Flood, is actually doing the service. We have events like Battlefield Brawl and Jacqueline Barham Challenge, High Five Turkey Drive, as well as the Back to School Expo. So we have some specific organizational events that we take our volunteers that we've trained to do this good work in doing. And then our last area or bucket is global service, and we support a school in Arusha, Tanzania. So we have interest all over the world, as well as locally here in Michigan and in mid-Michigan. 1, 2, 3, 4 buckets, and that is New World Flood.
Well, Bill, that was a great overview of who New World Flood is, and actually it's through your work in the community that we actually came together and how we actually ended up doing this wonderful radio show together. TJ Duckett, as your CEO, he has been so gracious to come out into the community, and for One Love Global, through our youth leadership program, which is called the Peace and Prosperity Youth Action Movement, there's not been a time that we asked TJ to come out and share, or even just to be there to encourage the students. And so we certainly appreciate the impact, your visibility, your willingness to just show up whenever there are children involved or a need or something that actually needs to happen in the community. So I'm looking forward to continuing that work with you.
And if you recall, the first time that we actually met was also out in the community, where we had a local high school that needed some community support. And we came together, our organizations came together. The high school happens to be my alma mater as well. And that's the first time that I met you, and you were already out supporting causes that are near and dear to me.
Absolutely, Bill. It's been a pleasure working with you up until this point, and just from that one connection that we have continued to work together, and I hope will help other organizations see how they can better collaborate, how they can build those partnerships that not only get their mission across, but actually can have a bigger impact in the community.
Yes, collective impact. Absolutely. Let's keep amplifying what we do.
Thank you for listening to Equity Equals. We'll be right back after the break.
Good, he the baddest, bad meaning good to you automatic. He gave it to you, it's yours, you can have it, grab it.
Welcome to Equity Equals on MichiganBusinessNetwork.com with co-host Angela Austin and Bill Morris. Equity Equals is a celebration of social entrepreneurship and the leaders that impact Michigan's double bottom line.
Hi, I'm Angela Austin with One Love Global.
And I'm Bill Morris.